Hey everyone, in this clip from my live stream, I'm breaking down the now infamous royal succession photo that allegedly sent Meghan and Harry into a tailspin. So, if you've ever wondered how narcissism and paranoia can turn something neutral, something beautiful, into something explosive, this one's for you. Let's get into it. But before we begin, here's the intro. Welcome to Revealing the Narc. Join me as I highlight narcissistic traits in celebrities and public figures. Everything here is in my opinion and not professional advice. If you enjoy the analysis, please like and subscribe. I was looking through articles that came out this morning, and there was one that caught my eye that was released today. So I thought we could talk about it. And then as we get into it, I'm going to ask some questions as we go along because I really want to know your opinions as well. So this article was published this morning, May 11, and it was in the Mirror, and it's titled Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Wake Up Call Sparked by Prince George Photo. Harry and Meghan announced they were stepping down as working royals in January 2020, less than 2 years after their wedding, and their decision was triggered by a photo of their nephew, according to an expert. The article begins Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's fractured relationship with the royal family now seems broken beyond repair, with the Duke claiming that his father, the king, no longer speaks to him. Issues between the Sussexes and the royals can be traced back to the time they decided to quit the royal life. And it was a sweet snapshot of Prince George that proved to be a wake up call for Harry and Meghan and cemented their decision to leave the firm, an expert has claimed. The image in question showed the late Queen with her three heirs, excuse me, the then Prince Charles, Prince William, and Prince George, who was 6 at the time, in the throne room at Buckingham Palace. It was released at the beginning of 2020, just days before Harry and Meghan confirmed they planned on stepping down as working royals. On the face of it, the picture simply showcased the future of the monarchy and mirrored many historic portraits, but it is alleged to have caused upset behind the scenes. And we are going to go into the psychology of this. I'm going to talk. This is so. I mean, this is malignant narcissism, and I will show you. I will show you that allegedly, and in my opinion. Um, in his book, Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, Andrew Morton wrote the royal couple suspected that the entire institution was conspiring against them as they saw it. The evidence was all around them. The unspoken code was straightforward. The future of the monarchy was assured with or without Meghan and Harry. That's how the monarchy works. You are deluded if you think it's something else. This is how do you look at something that is 100% fact and then just struggle against it? I just don't understand. I just don't understand. But we're going to get into it and we're going to talk about this paranoia here. And actually, I'm going to plant the seed for you right now. As we're going through it, I'm going to ask you to think of any examples that Meghan has demonstrated paranoia. I have 3 of them ready to go, and I just want to hear what you all think, but we'll get to that. And then finally, I also want to say Andrew Morton is the same author that wrote the book Diana in her, I forget what the title is. So, yeah, I tried reading Andrew Morton's book about Meghan. Wow, it's a hard read. It's a hard read. I think I got to, like, chapter 1, maybe chapter 2, I don't know. It's rough. Okay, the article continues. Where was I? Speaking to the Mirror's podcast Pod Save the Queen, Morton further revealed that Harry and Meghan had started to think about leaving the firm far earlier than the public thought and said talks began just 6 months after the wedding. He said Harry was having conversations in a London hotel with Oprah Winfrey back in November 2018, just 6 months after they'd been married. So they were thinking about a different direction of travel pretty early on. Can you believe this? I mean, yes, we can believe it, right? Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Let me see what you all are saying in the chat. This is exactly it. This is another example of being envious of a child, This is exactly the same character, the same person that treated Princess Charlotte that way, allegedly. And that's why I really want to talk about this and how it relates to malignant narcissism. Yes, cryptic charm. Diana in her own words. Yes, I knew it was like Diana in her what? I couldn't remember. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Um okay, so let me see. Let's continue. Okay, so this is the photo, everybody. And you know who else isn't in this photo? Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis. They're not in the photo either. So this photo is it's not personal. It's constitutional. It's it's business. It's business. Like can you imagine you work for a company and all the executives take pictures together in a group and you get mad because you work in a different department and they didn't put you in the picture? You're in a different department. You're not an executive. Why would you be offended by something that was beyond the realm of reality? Right? Ah, my goodness, these 2, I can't. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple of things that like this brought out in me. So clearly, this photo is a historical snapshot of the line of succession. It's traditional, it's expected, and logically, it's accurate. The truth is, this photo is based on lineage, not love. It's a visual representation of the crown's past, present, and future. And like I was saying, Charlotte and Louis aren't in it either. And it's not because they're disliked, but because the focus of that photo is on direct succession. That makes Meghan and Harry's alleged offense feel even more absurd. Like they wanted inclusion in a moment that was never about them to begin with. And the real question here is um, oh, oops, wrong slide. And the real Ooh, how did I get ahead so much? Okay, and the real question here, like that we should ask ourselves, why did they see themselves in a photo that wasn't about them at all? Why would they be offended by this? Why would they think that they belong in that photo? It's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous. Yes, Melissa, everything is personal to a narcissist. And that's the next point. Only a narcissistic mindset would see this as a snub. A healthy, secure person might look at that photo and say, wow, that's history. But a narcissist sees any space where they are not centered as a threat. The photo isn't about them, then then it must mean something about them. And it's not that it means just anything, it means they're rejected. This is the hallmark of malignant narcissism, assuming the world is broadcasting coded messages about you at all times. This relates back to I've mentioned a couple of times that my stepmom is a malignant narcissist. And I remember as a child, some people used to tell me, like adults that were around, they'd be like, your stepmom, she's just incredibly sensitive. If you even gently caress her the wrong way, she'll fight with you about it. And they try to make it seem like that's normal behavior. It's not. And it's exactly that. They think that everything, the world is broadcasting these coded messages about them at all time. And it's like, no, no, it isn't. And in this case, like, how could you even take this offensively? I don't get it. And this also shows that there's this confusion between legacy and ego. Harry and Meghan seem to mistake personal feelings for institutional relevance. Legacy photos aren't about who's liked, it's about who's next. Meghan's interpretation of the photo reportedly included they're showing us we don't belong. But no one belongs in that specific photo except for the sovereign and their successors. It's literally not personal, it's structural. Yeah, this photo, yep, it rattled her cage 100%. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And ultimately, what this shows is that they wanted the status without the structure. That I think is probably the most telling part of all of this because they they stepped away from royal duties. They didn't want the obligations or the scrutiny, but they still want that symbolic centrality. It's in narcissistic logic, it's not I serve the institution, it's the institution should reflect me. That photo, not including them, is probably a mirror that's held up to them to the harsh truth. You're not the center of the story here. And ultimately, to be offended by a royal succession photo is to misunderstand the very system you left, or to resent that it kept functioning without you. Yeah, and then I'm gonna get a little bit into how malignant narcissism plays into this, and I will get to your comments in a minute. And this I want you guys also to think of examples. We're gonna take a pause here so that all of you can give me examples you can think of. So, malignant narcissists have this paranoia of being left out. And I'm going to ask you if you can think of examples that Megan has demonstrated this type of paranoia. Malignant narcissists aren't just about vanity and control. They operate through paranoia. There's this constant gnawing paranoia that someone else being seen, acknowledged, or valued means that they are being erased. It's not enough to shine. They need everyone else to be dimmed. And that's why I say that narcissists are competitors, they're not collaborators. And I think this is true if you've ever experienced it in your life. These are not people that function well in a team environment because they need to stand out. And that immediately makes it very difficult for them to be part of a team. And that's why Megan was just inherently her her identity was a complete mismatch for being part of the royal family where there's hierarchy. You can't be at the top. It's already decided. And the fact that there is a hierarchy means that there's someone at the top. It means that this is a pyramid, right? There's someone at the top and there's people beneath. And the goal is to serve the monarchy as a whole. And in regards to this picture, the queen with her direct heirs, it's a completely traditional and symbolic message that Harry and Meghan are taking as that they didn't matter, but that photo isn't about them. That's the part a narcissist can't process. If the moment doesn't feature them, they can't see its value, and they interpret neutrality as an attack. Let me get to your comments. I like that you said that, Melissa. Yes, Anne is the steel backbone of that family. Oh, cryptic charm. Oh, okay. Wait, I have another Wimbledon example. Okay. So, cryptic charm is mentioning when in Wimbledon, she wanted to walk in side by side with Catherine instead of being behind. Yes, she couldn't handle not being, um, at the very least, equal to Catherine, right? Oh, thank you, Samundak. I appreciate that. Oh, exactly. Yes, Alice, that's a good one. When she wasn't invited to Balmoral when the queen passed away. Yes, and she even got Harry involved in that. She got Harry all emotionally messed up with that, you know? Yeah. Um, let's see. Hi, Kumari. Okay, I'm gonna go into my first example. How many do I have? I have 3 of them maybe. Okay, so the first one I have is what happened between Victoria and David Beckham and Harry and Meghan. And ultimately, Meghan believed that Victoria Beckham was selling stories about the Sussexes to the press. That was the downfall of their relationship. And I think this is one example of their paranoia. Well, Meghan's paranoia, and then Meghan, loops Harry into it too. Alice says when she wouldn't walk behind Harry when they went to Saudi Arabia. Um, That was the red carpet incident. Was that Morocco? You guys let me know in the comments. You guys let me know. And then the other example I thought of was the Wimbledon 2019, where she made everybody sit away from her. She said no photos. She attends a very public setting. She's surrounded by press, celebrities, and thousands of fans. And a security guard tells a woman to stop taking selfies because Megan is in the background. Megan is in the background. So this is such a lack of boundaries. It's such a lack of boundaries. Um, so Megan claims she was there in a private capacity. And part of me recognizes this as paranoia, and part of it is also this grandiosity, self importance. So the paranoia part of this is that she assumes that strangers are secretly photographing her when they're not. And she's trying to control all images of her, even in public. And it shows a mistrust of ordinary people and fear of being captured off message. And the reason why this is self importance and grandiosity is she believes she's important enough that random people would only be interested in taking photos of her and not the tennis match. Private capacity at Wimbledon. That's complete delusion. Melissa says that it was Morocco. Yes, thank you. Cryptic Charm says, I remember when she wasn't allowed to walk on a red carpet, it was for blood royals. She walked next to the carpet, but as close as possible. Yes, yes. Susan says they were given a year to reconsider leaving the royal family. King Charles paid for their security for that year. Maybe Harry will wake up one day. Yeah. Right, Alice. I need to look more into this. So Alice says when people walking through Windsor were given a list of don'ts if Harry and Meghan were there. Right. Melissa says, how about that time before her first garden party when she literally stopped Harry so she could walk through a doorway first? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Carrie, yes, thank you. When she needed a four-car motorcade in New York, where celebrities walk the streets every day and ride the subway. Yes, 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 exactly. And it this what you said, Carrie, is a flashback to me of that Netflix mockumentary that came out, and the very first clip or it's really early on in the beginning where they're looking back and they're in this private parking lot and are they following us? And are they here? Are they still there? Were they? Yeah, this paranoia. And the thing is, this paranoia that Megan inherently has is really um, is a really good way of triggering Harry because of Harry's fear of the press. So literally, she adds fuel to she creates this trauma bond with him over this. Cryptic Charm, guess what? That's where I was going next because this Wimbledon incident exactly reminds me of when they were at Frogmore and they would walk through. I don't remember if it was Frogmore or when they were on Kensington grounds. I don't remember. But whatever it is, it was a public area, I think, or other people could walk that area. And she demanded that nobody talk to her and nobody even come up to the dogs, that don't even come up to her dogs when she's walking her dogs. Can you believe that? Oh my g I mean, you can, right? And so the paranoia of this is that she believes every stranger with a phone is a potential paparazzi. And she thinks that casual photo taking is a coordinated threat. But there's also this grandiosity again that we're seeing, right? Where she assumes her presence is so important. She should be immune to normal public visibility. She treats public space like a private runway and expects the entire world to respect her imagined boundaries. Yes, yes. Melissa, that's a good one. Declining to utilize Duchess Sophie as a resource. She couldn't have anyone interfering with her victim complex. And she could have thought, Duchess Sophie may be trying to sabotage her. That's where the paranoia would come in. Like, oh, I can't have Duchess Sophie. She's going to teach me the wrong things. Or she's going to find out information and take it back to the queen or, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. And then let's see what I have next here. Okay, so this paranoia, that she has, it's not, and this is true, I think, of malignant narcissists, if you've ever met one, and 100% this is my stepmom. It isn't just fear, it's self-obsession in disguise. Malignant narcissists assume the world is constantly scheming about them, not because they're insecure, but because they're obsessed with their own centrality. The paranoia serves a function, it makes them feel important. They think that a simple glance, it becomes a threat, a family portrait is a snub, and a tradition that's been going on for centuries becomes a betrayal. Meghan and Harry allegedly interpreted this centuries old succession photo as a coded message saying, "You don't belong." But the monarchy is literally built on bloodline and order. The only people that would view that as an attack are those who think the institution should revolve around their feelings and not function. Yeah. Yeah. And then ultimately, this leads into um, Nicole says, "Is it real paranoia or is it put on so she can be the center of attention and be better than everyone else?" In my opinion, and what I experienced with my stepmom, it's real paranoia. It's, the world is really out to get me. And there is this manipulative element in it because of Harry's history. This is another way that she uses to manipulate him, but she also truly believes that the world is out to get her, that everybody is trying to, everyone's jealous of her. Everyone wants what she really has. And yeah, I believe so. I believe so. Melissa says Sophie is such a gem. She weathered a lot of gross tabloid stuff, did the work quietly, and has established herself as a real asset to the crown. Thank you, Melissa. I think so too. I think so too. And all of this plays into this everyone is against us narrative. This is one of the ways she isolated Harry. In the video I posted yesterday about the Fab Four, I talk about how already in February 2018, 3 months before the their wedding, Harry and Meghan's wedding, when they're doing this panel interview, Meghan is already creating an us against them. And this is something that happens in these types of relationships. Malignant narcissists will weaponize the idea that they're under siege. And the more public their narrative becomes, the more they're rewarded for their paranoia. It invites sympathy and pity, and it positions them as the victims of the very system they once sought to dominate. So it's like them, it's when they say the institution was conspiring against us. They took a photo without us. And what we're seeing today, the king won't speak to us. So it's a cycle that you may also recognize in personal relationships that you may have had with narcissistic parents, partners, or bosses. They create a conflict and then cast themselves as the wounded party and then lash out when the world doesn't cater to their version of reality. And to tie this all together, like ultimately, like the truth is, recognition of others is not that people are trying to erase you. A secure person sees a child being honored and feels joy. A narcissist sees it and says, "Where am I in this photo?" It's sick. Okay, you guys, I'm going to end the live stream here. I want to thank you all so much for being here. And here is the link again if you wanted to donate to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. I'm going to do this for every live stream. I think we just have such a loving and genuine and giving community. We can make a really big difference in the world. Um, yeah, and yeah, I appreciate all of you so, 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 so much. Happy Mother's Day to you, to your mothers, to your sisters, to everyone in your family that had a mothering role in your life. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for being here, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye everybody.